a Bank of Uganda trained and certified master financial literacy trainer and coach whose dream is seeing people becoming better stewards of their financial resources for the present and future users. Also, a regular trainer and coach for investment clubs and circles. He has held several roles such as project manager for the country's first ever investment club's financial TV reality show, Battle for Cash, for the first two seasons consecutively. Local expert trainer in financial literacy for the Uganda Refugee Employment Promotion Project, a project funded by the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development and implemented by Buildwork together with the Office of the Prime Minister and two vocational schools in Uganda. Financial literacy trainer of trainers for Bank of Uganda. He has empowered leaders and teams at National Social Security Fund, NSSF, KCB Bank, DFCU Bank, Children at Risk Network, Namulondo Investment, Buganda Kingdom, Namulondo Investment, a company owned by Buganda Kingdom, the Inner Wheel Club, Top Radio and TV, through the regular empowerment talk shows and various churches and local governments. He serves at the local church, Kampala Bible Revelation Church, a passionate farmer and a Christian radio broadcaster. That's the gentleman that is going to be speaking to us this morning. And I want to take this honor to invite now Andrew to speak to us this morning. Andrew, please, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Awir. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very honored to be with the Smacon Old Students Association during this very powerful morning. Thank you for the humble introduction and the opportunity to be able to speak to you and share something that would build someone's future starting today. All that now that you've introduced, I would like us to just go straight into the details of today. I'll just share my screen. Today we're discussing money, the three M's of money. I'm trying to share my screen. The three M's of money. Why money? Because every day, all of us left our homes, or all of us are going to school, all of us are going to work, somewhere, because we need to earn, we need to earn our money, we need to earn a living. So the money, okay, all right, so I hope the screen is clear now. Yes. So this morning discussing the three M's of money: making money, managing money, and multiplying money. Why we talk about money? Because money is a game, just like many other games, just like football game. You can't play football using volleyball principles. You'll be caught off guard, or you'll be caught offside, or you'll be caught handle the ball. Or you can't play tennis using golf principles. Yes. So because money is a game, we need to know the principles that govern the money for us to win this game. Every morning when you wake up, whether you know it or not, you're playing the money game. And you are either winning or you are losing. And whenever you win, someone has lost. When you lose, someone has won. So you wake up every day in the morning, and because the life you're living is a monetary life. You're spending money, every day. You spend on transport, you spend on clothing, you eat, you pay utilities. Everything that you do is about money. Is economical. So we need to know how do we make this game one that we can win. The difference between the Ronaldo and the Messi, the difference between them and probably our local footballers here in Uganda, those who play, say, in Makaza or in our local district or municipality championships, is because those people in the Premier League and those other leagues, they have mastered the game of football. So they know that they're masters of the fundamentals. So they play so well that they keep on winning. In comparison to our local footballers, it's because maybe they are yet to master the fundamentals of the game of football. So the same way, money, all people that you see winning money, making money, growing money, multiplying the money, because they have mastered the concepts, they have mastered the principles, they have mastered the fundamentals of the game of money. So these concepts of money, which is making money, managing money, multiplying money, are considered key to achieving financial success. No one wakes up in the morning and sets out to go and fail financially. You all wake up to go and make it in life, to make it financially, to be successful, to have enough money to look after you. But you need to know how that is done. In this discussion, we want to emphasize not only earning the money, because earning the money, we're earning money because you're employed or you have a business, you're getting the money. The next effective stages are how to handle that money and to grow it, which is managing and multiplying. So in making money, this involves actively creating income through various means: employment, investments, businesses, all sorts of things that people create or that people engage in to make money. Why? Because that is the first stage of winning in the money game. You need to be able to make some money. And when you make the money, the next stage is you need to know how to manage it. How do I handle the money? How do I keep the money? How do I budget that money? How do I spend it? How do I invest it? How do I grow it? So you need to know how you manage your money. So you focus on budgeting, tracking expenses, and making informed financial decisions, which ensure that you're spending wisely and avoiding debts, especially consumption debt. And we'll look at that in detail later on. Also, the last principle or fundamental is multiplying money. You need to know that after making the money, I have saved it, I've budgeted for it, I've tracked my expenses, I'm trying to avoid debt, I'm trying to live within my means. Now, the money that I have saved and put aside, how do I grow this money to multiply it, to increase it, to make it make more money? So, how do you send your money that, that you've saved? How do you send it to go and make more money by itself? So, it involves investing your money to generate further income and wealth, whether through stocks, real estate, and other investment vehicles that we're going to look at this morning. Okay. Also, very important concepts for us: financial intelligence. I'm sure you've come across them, in one way or another. Financial intelligence and financial literacy. Financial intelligence, like artificial intelligence. Now, financial intelligence is the new thing of money. Financial intelligence is knowing how money works. You need to know how money works. studying very hard and getting a job and getting a good salary is not enough. That is just one part of the money game. You're earning, you're making money. That is not enough. It's not sufficient. So you need to know, how does money work? Yes, I've earned it. Do you have the capacity to retain part of this money? Do you have the capacity to retain part of, because like I said, each morning when you wake up, you are playing the money game, whether you know it or not. And someone is winning and other people are losing. So when you win, others are losing. So your capacity to retain money, are you sure the money that you have, you'll be able to win at it so that you don't keep losing? You don't keep losing. And also, how much that money that you retain will work for you and for how long it will. Okay? So the capacity to retain money, that's financial intelligence, and how long that money that you retain is going to work for you, and you create what we call intergenerational wealth. And then financial literacy is having the knowledge, skills, and the confidence. The knowledge, skills, and the confidence to manage your money or financial resources very, very effectively or very well. So financial literacy, you have the knowledge, you know that you're supposed to save money, like we're going to share today. We're going to share knowledge. And probably you start to get some skills when you start to practice the things that we're going to talk about. And in the long run, you'll be confident that you'll be able to manage your money, to manage your financial resources, the one you have now and the one that you will have tomorrow, for both now and the future. So, principally, in the money game, for you to win, you need to keep making, managing, multiplying, making, managing, multiplying. Okay? Learning, unlearning, and relearning about money. So you learn some new things about money every day. You be a lifelong learner. One of my coaches tells me you need to be a lifelong learner of life. That includes money. So you need to learn something about money every day. You need to unlearn the things that are not working for you every day. And you need to relearn the things that are working, but you're probably not focusing on them. So you relearn, how do I make it work about money? Okay, so conclusively, financial literacy enables one to understand the key financial products that you need through your life. There are key financial products that you use in life, whether you know it or not. There are key financial products like bank accounts, like insurance products, like businesses, like investments. So all those products that, so financial literacy helps you to choose the right products that you need at the right time of your life. It also helps you to understand basic financial concepts. Some of the things, good thing I'm talking to a school and former old students of the school. So understanding basic concepts, things that we study probably in economics or in entrepreneurship, interest rates. How do interest rates? So when you go to a bank, when you hear bank discuss or Bank of Uganda discussing interest rates, we are lowering the interest rates or lowering, increasing the interest rates. What does that mean to you? Those basic things like budget, risk, diversification. So financial literacy helps you to understand these things and you make them work for you. So you also are able to discuss money and financial issues, even when it is not the best thing to talk about. One of the hardest things in relationships to discuss is money. One of the hardest things in marriages and families to discuss is money. So financial literacy helps you to break it down, to understand, to talk with confidence, to discuss these money things. Because, like we said, every day you wake up, you are winning or you're losing in the money game because you're playing, whether you know it or not. And then also, you're able to make good financial choices about saving, about expenditure, about loans and debt management, because you are aware, because you have the skills and the knowledge, and you can be confident that you save well, you spend well, and you also manage your loans well. Lastly, to help us respond competently to changes that affect our everyday financial well-being. Now, there is a concept called financial temperature. It was coined by a gentleman called T. Harv Eker, one of the best financial writers of our time. He says, unlike the body temperature, which is uniform for all of us, it is the same for all of us, about 36.5. degrees. But financial temperature is different from all of us. And financial temperature is that amount of money that you can confidently live with, retain, save, have it by yourself without the pressure to spend it. That amount of money for some of us is 10,000, some of us is 100,000, some people is in millions, some people is even zero. So some people can't live with any money. When they have money in their pocket, they want to go and spend it, whether budgeted or unbudgeted. That's why we say you're losing or winning in the money game. One of the key factors that determine your capacity to win in finances in the money game is what is your financial temperature? What is that amount of money that you can keep when you get salary, when you get some money in the morning? Are you sure you can go through the day without spending that money? Or when you get money, you are rushing to go and spend that money on things that are either beneficial or even not beneficial, things unplanned or even things that are planned. So your capacity to retain money, your capacity to spend money well, your capacity to manage debt well is financial temperature. Are you sure your phone can have 500,000 in the morning and you spend the whole week without spending that money? Okay, so you need to find out, you need to discover by the time we finish this discussion this morning, what is your financial temperature? What is that amount of money that you know? All of us subconsciously have that amount. For you, when you have that 50,000, you won't spend. But when it goes above 50,000, you want to rush and go and reduce that money back to the 50,000. When someone gives you 100,000 and now you have 150, if your financial temperature is 50, you will rush to go and spend the money quickly. If you didn't plan to spend on things like a breakfast at Baby Cafe Javas, because now you have 100,000 which someone has given you this morning, you immediately go to your phone and order for Cafe Javas. Why? Because someone has gifted you money. Because your financial temperature is telling you we are at 50,000. Now you have 150. Please do everything you can to reduce the money from 150 to 50,000. So money that you get and people go into, excitement, people start sweating because they have money and they need to reduce this money to a comfortable level where they will live and breathe. But for some people, those who are winning in the money game, their capacity to keep money is as high as millions. Okay, so what is your financial temperature? Three types of education. Again, I'm excited because I'm talking to a school, one of the best schools in Uganda, and also the old students of the school. One of the education types we have in Uganda is general education, all world over. This one enables people to learn reading, writing, counting, socializing, greeting teachers, greeting your friends. How do you behave, socially? So those things. That is general education from primary one, nursery, through secondary. But also there is specialized education, where now after secondary, either O level, A level, you go and specialize to become an expert, a teacher, an engineer, a doctor, a pilot, a technician, a driver, whatever specialization you want to go to. All these education types are good and they are very, very helpful. However, one of the most important type of education is what we call financial education. This one is not taught in schools, apart from a few schools which are starting to do it, like Smacon and other schools, who have realized the need for financial literacy. And it's very, very few people in life who go through their life and they ever encounter financial education. So some people go through school. So, for example, you're taught primary, secondary, and you're encouraged, please read hard, get good grades, and go to a good university. At university, we are told, please read hard, study hard, get a good degree, and get a good job. When you get a good job and you get good money, no one tells you how to handle that money. No one teaches you how to handle that money. No one tells you that when you get the money, you start saving money. You start budgeting your money. You start investing the money. No one ever tells us. That is only encountered in financial education, and that's why it's important. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to have financial education in the morning today. Why? Because people go through life and they never encounter financial education, but they go through life earning money. They make money, But because they don't have financial education or it's not sufficient, their financial intelligence is not as high. So they keep losing at the money game. That's why people make money, they earn money. First year, 5 years they've been working, 10 years they've been working, 15 years they've been working, but they cannot show that trace of their money. They can't show the investments, the assets, the things that they have done with their money, apart from the expenditures, the bills that they have been paying. And that's not the intention of earning money. The intention of earning money is that you get money, spend some, save some, and then invest what you've saved. So, how do we get financial education? Attending things like these, webinars, reading books, getting mentored, going to places where these things are being taught. Expose yourself, mind your mind. Everything you've done with money, or everything you're doing with money, is because it's what you know. Whatever you're not doing with money is because you don't know it. Like we said, learning, relearning, and unlearning money. So grow your money intelligence, grow your capacity to know how money works. How money works. Now, in life, when you spend money, when you buy things, you either buy an asset or a liability. And in personal finance, unlike economics, unlike accountancy, unlike business administration, in personal finance is as easy as 1 + 1 is equal to 2. In personal finance, we make things very, very easy for anyone to understand. So assets are things that put money in your pocket. Liabilities are things that remove money from your pocket, as simple as that. So every day, whatever you buy, either it's a car, a laptop, it's a shoe, it's a dress, it's a piece of land, it's a house, whatever you buy in life. Maybe you buy a business. A business can be an asset or a liability, depending. Does it put money in your pocket so it's an asset, or it's actually removing money? You're spending more for you to maintain that business. So income statements and balance sheets. So for those who are qualified accountants, economists, and all these things, business administrators, they also study and qualify to become qualified accountants. And they have all these statements, all these documents, all these tools to manage company money, to manage school money, to manage the country economy, Bank of Uganda, and all these things. But usually when we ask whether they have the same tools for their personal money, usually the response is they're not sure, or they don't have these things. So why this financial education is important, that even for those who study economics and accountants and everything in specialized education, you are supposed to know and have these tools the way you have them in your company money or your organization money. The same tools, you're supposed to use them to manage your personal money. So a concept called cash flow. Cash flow is the import. You go to work to get money, and that money is cash flow. So you get money every month, or you get money daily if you have a business, or you get money daily if you have weekly or monthly or annually, based on how you structured your income streams. So cash flow is that money that comes to you, or the money that goes out of you. Can be an income or an expenditure. And the cash flow pattern of an asset is that assets, like we say, brings income into your pocket. And cash flow pattern of a liability, it removes money from your pocket. It's an expense. Every day, again, when you spend money, you're buying an asset or you're buying a liability. So why do we struggle financially in life? Because of that. Why do we struggle financially in life? Because of insufficient financial education. So we get income, and then when we get income, we come and buy liabilities. We accumulate liabilities because other people are doing the same. Maybe your neighbor is doing the same. You want to compete with people. So people accumulate liabilities, things that they don't need, usually to impress people that even, who don't care. So you get your money, you get your salary, and then what do you buy? You come and buy liabilities. And then because it's a liability, it's going to become expenditure. So it takes money out of your pocket. So you never have money coming into your wallet or your pocket more than your salary, because when you get the first income, which is the salary every month, all you do is to buy liabilities. But what do the wealthy people do? Those people that we say are winning in the money game. This is what they do. They get income and buy assets. And assets bring in more income. So they, you see, they have more than one income stream. They get income, buy assets, and make more money from the assets. And then when they make money, then now they can look at buying liabilities. The last thing that wealthy people buy, those if you're to win in the money game, each time you make money, buy an asset. Make sure you look for where your money is going to multiply, and we're going to look at that in detail. Can I multiply my money through an asset? And then that asset brings in income for you, and then now you can use part of that income to spend, buy liabilities, which will be an expenditure. So, what is a budget? A budget is a quantitative plan on how you will receive and spend your money. Simple. When the Minister of Finance reads the budget every year, he tells us how much money Uganda is going to make and from where. We're going to tax this and this. We're going to increase taxes here. We're going to tax the, so they tell us how much you're going to make quantitative, their figures, and where you're going to spend the money. You're going to increase salaries. You're going to build roads. You're going to build hospitals. So they tell us where we're going to make money and where we're going to spend money. The same way the budget of the country or the budget of your company or the school is, we're going to make money and spend money here. It's the same way you're supposed to make your personal budget. Where are you going to make your money from? What are your income sources? You plan for that, and then you also show where you're going to spend your money, written down in figures, an estimation of revenue and expenses. Simple. An estimate, it must be written down. That's why the benefits of using a written budget. A budget can't be in your head and it's effective. It has to be written down. As simple as an exercise book or your phone, whatever. There are tools now that you're students. There are tools on the internet that can help you to manage money. So use them. Input your income, input your expenses. And then it will show you if you're spending more than what you planned, more than what you budgeted for. So benefit some of them very fast. Helps you to control your money instead of the money controlling you. Some people, why they lose in the money game is because they let their money control. If you don't budget for money, money will control you. Money will tell you where to go. But you're supposed to tell your money where to go using a budget. So you control your money using a written budget. So before the money comes to you, you know where it's going to go. So you give names to your money. This one is for rent. This one is for investing. This one is for opening a business. This one is for buying plot of land. So before the money comes to you, because when money comes to you before you budget for it, it's going to control you. Usually, you spend on things that you didn't need. You spend on wants instead of needs. Number two, helps you to know where you are living within your means or not. People live within means, other people live outside of their means, above their means. That's why people lose at the money game and others are winning at the money game. When you get, say, 500,000, your budget should be below 500,000 so that you will win in the money game. How? You keep some money out of the 500,000 and you invest it so that you start winning in this money game. Others spend above what they're earning, so they keep losing all their life. When they start earning money, their first job, they immediately go into expenses, liabilities, accumulating things that they don't need, which are spending, which are not making any money sense to them. So from the word go, you lose at the money game. That's why we say you need to keep learning, relearning, and unlearning about money. A budget written down also assists you in tracking your investments and saving goals. Because part of your budget things, items, is saving for investment. How much are we saving? How much of percentage of your money are you investing? Are you saving for investment? It also guides you in preparing for financial emergencies. Okay, so part of your budget items is planning for emergencies. You save some money aside for eventualities. Just in case something happens, you need to have an emergency fund. It also helps you to keep out of debt and even manage it better in case you're already in debt. It also helps you to spend in check. Some of the items that you can budget for or that your personal budget can have. Not conclusive, it is an example based on where you are in your financial journey. Giving, we know that we give to God a tithe of all our income. Okay. For the Muslims, they also give zakah, I know. So you give. Part of your budget items is giving. Then number two, intentional, is saving. Before you spend your money, you need to save part of your money so that you will start on your journey to win in this money game. So you save some money, which saving will later on be used for investment. So housing, how much do you spend? Utilities, operating income, operating expenses in your household. How much do you spend on food, transport, clothing, insurance, medical care, personal allowances and effects, including things like data, communication, clothes, entertainment, recreation, all these things that you spend money on. Make sure you budget for them. You budget. You have a basic list so that if you're earning 1 million, those items that you need to spend on will fit within the 1 million shillings or even less. Okay, starting with first of all the needs, the human needs, and then you go to the ones later on. Okay, something called saving. I know we've had, we keep listening, hearing the word saving, and sometimes because you keep on listening to it, you almost don't want to listen to it again. However, saving is not simply putting your money aside. Saving is paying yourself and paying yourself first. That's why in the personal budget item, saving is number two after giving. So you give to God, then the next person to get your money is you. So imagine you're employed, you get up early in the morning, leave your home at 6, come back late at 9, you go and make money, and then after making the money, 1 million or whatever amount it is, end of the month, they give it to you, your HR pays you your money, and you get all your salary that you worked for the 30 days, and you go and give it away to other people. You give it to your landlord, you give it to Airtel and MTN, you give it to your border guy or your Shell, Total, all those fuel companies. You give your money to the shopkeeper, you give your money to the restaurant, you give your money to the boutique, to the salon, to the clinic, and all these people are happy with you because you pay them. But you are cheating yourself. You are not paying yourself. The salary you earn is not yours. It is only yours when you pay yourself part of that money. So when you get money, financial intelligence dictates that you must pick a percentage of that money, and that is yours. That's why we call it saving. So you're saving some money for yourself. If you don't save, you have worked the whole month, but you've not earned any money. It's only the other people that have earned the money. Your landlord is happy, they earned the money in the month of May. Your shopkeeper, your boutique, your salon guy, every other person is happy with you apart from yourself. That's why people go through January up to December and they can't show anything that they saved. Or they can't tell us that they made money. They've been earning money the whole year. Why? Because when they get money, they start distributing. So you become a distribution channel. You get money and distribute to all these people. The list is endless, like we saw in this list here. The personal budget. All those people need your money and they strategically put themselves, located their businesses to you so that they earn money from you. Okay? So we said in the money game, you're either winning or losing. Each time you spend the money, someone has earned your money. Each time someone earns money is because someone has spent that money. So wake up in the morning and decide, I'm going to start paying myself. When I get a salary, I'll pay myself off that money. I'll give to God his, and then the next person to get money must be me. A part of all you earn is yours to eat as bread, and the part for you to keep and as seed for you to sow in the future as an investment. Who decides what is bread and how much is seed? It is you. That's why financial intelligence and financial literacy is very important, because you need to know and decide how much of my money is going to be for me to eat, how much of my money is going to be for me to spend and pay other people, and how much of that money is going to be for me to save and invest. Okay? That's why money is important. A key to your financial success in future is to treat your money as and your savings as your employees, people who work for you, so that you stop working for money and ultimately you let money work for you. And we're going to look at those tools, how money can work for you. Okay, saving is not the end, it is a means to the end. Saving is not the end, it's just a means. So when you save money, the next thing is to invest that money. And money says, save me today and I'll save you tomorrow. Okay, very fast steps to effective saving. Decide what you're saving for. What is your goal? So set that specific goal and make it specific. What amount are you saving by what date? Maybe you're saving for a plot of land, you're saving for a business. How much does that business need? And by what date? Okay, break that long-term goal into short-term goals. Maybe you need to spend, you need to save, say, 5 million by the end of the year. How much is that per month? How much is that per week? How much is that per day? If you earn daily, if you earn weekly, or if you earn monthly, how much therefore must you put aside as your saving? Number three, number four, sorry, save regularly and consistently. Saving is not about the amount. Saving is about the behavior, the consistency with which you do it. If you decide to save every month, make it a behavior every month. If you decide to save weekly, make it a behavior every week. Okay? It is more about the behavior than the amount. And then put your savings to work, like we said. So when you save your money, invest it so that it starts making some money for you. And then keep your goals in mind. Write them down so that you keep focused on those goals. If you don't focus on the goal that you're saving for, before the goal is reached, the amount that is there in the account that you're saving for, you easily touch it and use it and mismanage it. But if you have your goal and focused and you picture somewhere, you're saving that 5 million to go and start a business. You will keep saving at it. You won't allow yourself to misuse that money. So write down the goal. Okay. Very fast about investments. What are investments? Investment is sending your money to make money. Sending your money to make money. Part of your money is bread or seed, like I said. Wealth is not the same as income. Wealth is what you accumulate and not what you earn. Okay? So over time, you accumulate money and then that money you invest it and then you start creating wealth. What you earn is different. So you make money. If you manage your money well, you invest, you multiply this money and then it starts giving you wealth. So it's not what you earn that counts, but what you keep that will determine your financial success in the future. That's why we say you need to start paying yourself part of your money. So it's not how much you earn, it's how much you're going to keep from what you earn that will determine your financial success. And then when you get into investment, always have a long-term view about the investment. Have a long-term view. Don't invest for 3 months and when the man has made money, then you eat the money and the children of the money. So invest, have a long-term view, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. Look at a long-term view. Look at a longer period of time as you invest money. Study and have good knowledge about the investment that you want to choose, your investment of choice. How does it work? I'm starting this investment. How do we make money? How do we lose money? How do we make money? You need to know how your investment works. How does it make money? And how does it lose you money? So that when you see the signs of losing money, you pull out your principal investment. Invest where you have passion. So don't invest in entities that contradict your values. If you're a Christian, you can't invest in bars or in cigarette or alcohol businesses because it contradicts your values. Okay, so you won't have the time to go and supervise that business or that investment. Why? Because it already contradicts your values. So invest where you have passion, where you love to do, where you love to see things change and things happening. So invest where you have passion. Number three, avoid get rich quick schemes. Usually after such a session, people rush to I need to do something about this investment, this money. So you start looking for where your money can multiply very fast. Don't rush. If something sounds too good to be true, it is probably untrue. Many schemes have lost people money. Yesterday, the other year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, people are losing money and they're still losing money. Why? Because Ugandans don't want to put in effort. People love where it is easy. There is no thing that is worthwhile, that is easy. Everything worthwhile has an effort. So there is a process to making money. Trust that process. Don't rush for get rich quick schemes. There is nothing like get rich quick. Otherwise, everyone will be rich if those things were working. Just imagine if the schemes that you hear in town are making people rich, everyone will be rich, but not everyone is rich. So avoid those get rich quick schemes. They are going to lose you money. People are losing money. They are continuing to lose money because people want to get rich very fast. So trust the process. Start small and keep growing. Number 4, diversify your investments. Don't put all your investments in one basket, but also don't put all your eggs in all baskets. Okay, so don't invest in one investment, but also don't invest in all baskets. So you have a salon, you have a shop, you have a retail shop, you have a charcoal outlet, you have some Rolex stands, you have some market stores in Owino, you have some pharmacy, you have some boda bodas, you have some taxis, you have some, you have a nursery school, you have, and what kind of business are you starting? What kind of investments do you want to go into? Can you manage your investments? Can you mind your investments? Are you sure you're able to supervise? The principle of business and investments is, are you able to supervise? The saying goes, mind your business. Are you sure you mind your business? We used to think people are abusing us when they say mind your business. Actually, if they say, are you sure you can mind, you can put your thoughts where your business is, where you've invested your money. So mind your business. Always get counsel, find mentors and coaches and investment advisors to help you before you invest your money. Okay. Steps to sustainable investments as we go to the investments themselves. Educate yourself to make informed choices on your investment vehicle, like we've said. Set an investment goal. Set an investment strategy. How do you turn that goal into actionable steps that are unique to you? Okay. Diversify your investment portfolio. Those who read the good book, the Bible, Ecclesiastes 11 verses 6, instructs us to have more than one income stream, 7 or 8. Evaluate the performance of your investments. Each time you invest money, because now you're multiplying money, each time you multiply money, you send your money to make money. Check and see, is it performing the way I projected? Is it making the money that I thought it would make, the money that I planned to make? So keep checking, evaluating the performance of the investment. Okay, so you mind the business. Consistency is key, like we said. An investor without an investment objective is like a traveler without a destination. Vehicles to wealth creation. We're going to look at the vehicles very fast. How much time do we have? About, yeah. So vehicles to wealth creation. Moving from where you are, because now since we started discussing, maybe someone has realized I'm on track, I'm off track in my finances. So wherever you are in your financial journey, in your financial level, moving from there to where you want to be, where you desire to be, where you want to be after this discussion, it will require you to have the right investment vehicle, depending on the gap between those two locations. Okay. So, and depending on how much time you have, because someone who is 50 years doesn't have as much time to invest money and grow money like someone who is maybe 25 years and you're just starting in your career. Okay, so the distance between where you are and where you want to be, it will require you a vehicle. Okay, so assuming you're going to Ginger, someone will walk, someone will take a bicycle, someone will take a taxi, someone will fly, charter a plane or something. So it will need a vehicle. And in investments, we have vehicles. The vehicle you choose in your investment is going to determine how fast you reach your desired goal. It's going to determine how late or early you are. It's going to determine the energy or the effort you're going to put in to create wealth. It's also going to determine the benefits you will get finally. And then it's also going to determine how secure you will be. It's about the vehicle. Someone riding a bicycle and someone in a taxi or someone who is driving are not the same. In the bicycle, you're putting in a lot of effort. Yes, you'll reach Ginger, but you'll be so tired. Someone walking will be so tired, like the matters that we see. Those guys who come from Gulu and they come to Namgongo. I mean, people travel. But so depending on the type of vehicle that you choose for your investment journey, it will determine a lot of things: how fast you reach, how much benefit you get, and all those things. So some of the vehicles that we have the four quadrants. Yeah, one we call paper assets, And then you have real estate, you have agriculture, and then private business. So paper assets. This one is highly regulated. Things like fixed deposits, government securities, like treasury bills and treasury bonds, unit trusts. We're going to talk about these. So, Capital Markets Authority regulates the capital markets in Uganda. What are capital markets? Is where you invest your money in regulated environments like banks, like insurance companies, like fund managers who are regulated. So when you go to the website of Capital Markets Authority, one of the things I like to do with my audiences or students is that I give you homework. So on your Google, apart from using Google for other things, go to Google, put in Capital Markets Authority and Uganda Stock Exchange. There is a lot of investment advice for you there. So there you start to choose the investment vehicles that you want to do. Fixed deposit, what is it? You go and approach a bank and lend money to the bank, and they agree how much profit they'll give you. They'll either give the money to a bank for 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, or 12 months, or even above 2 years, whatever period. So they agree how much profit they'll give you. So your money is going to make money for you when you give it to the bank in a fixed deposit, and they'll give you an annual interest. Or you can lend money to government, a treasury bill. What is a treasury bill? Is when you lend money to government in short term, either 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. Okay? So you lend money to government either 91 days, 181 days, which is 6 months, or 12 months. So you lend money to government and government pays you a profit or income. You make money by lending money to government. So the money that you save, you start investing it in those vehicles. The minimum amount for you to start giving money or lending money to government is 100,000 shillings, as little as 100,000 shillings. Okay, so you can lend money to government like that. That's an investment vehicle. The other one is unit trusts. These are insurance companies that have been regulated or licensed by governments through the Capital Markets Authority to lend money to trade what we call collective investment schemes like unit trusts. So you give money to an insurance company and they will agree how much profit they'll pay you at the end of the period or at any time, and your money makes money for you every day, every day, every day. The other one is annuity plans or endowment plans. You also give money you save money in insurance companies and they invest it for you and they pay it for you at the end of a given period. There's also Capital Markets Authority where you buy shares in companies like MTN, banks, DFCU, Stan, Big, Baroda. You buy shares in companies and you make money by either your share price increasing, you buy at 20 and the price increases to 30, you can sell, so you've made money, or you make money by sharing part of the profits that the company makes, what we call dividends. Or you can invest money in foreign markets like the New York Stock Exchange. Now, Capital Markets Authority has licensed some fund managers in Uganda who are helping Ugandans to invest in markets like New York, where money makes money at a faster rate. Okay, or even things like real estate. You can buy land. You can buy land and build rentals, commercial spaces, shops, or industrial spaces like warehouses. Or you buy land and you sell what we call land banking, or agriculture, commercial forestry. Value addition. Look at where can you play in all these areas. Those are investment vehicles, and how can all those things make money for you? Or even private business. You can buy equity, private equity, buy shares in someone's private business for a return. Maybe someone is running a shop, a salon, a restaurant, and they need some capital. Instead of them going to the bank, they can agree with you. You lend money you give them money, so you invest in their business for a return. You do some paperwork, and they'll give you some shareholding in their business, and then you give them the capital. They make the money, and they give you a return on your money that you invested, or even direct business, where you go into business directly. Okay, I know time cannot allow us to finish all things, maybe another opportunity, but the vehicle that you choose for your investment will determine how fast you're going to go, where you're going to go, and how soon you reach there, and the benefits that you choose. For example, I had done a comparison between real estate and capital markets. The return each time you choose an investment vehicle, you need to know how much it will make and after how long, what we call return on investment. After how long? In real estate, after how long do you make money? For example, if you invest 100 million shillings in real estate, ideally, and you maybe build rentals, that where you're going to collect about 50,000 per month. Ideally, it takes you an average of about 14 years for you to get back the 100 million that you invested before you get the profits. Okay. However, if you invest that money in the capital markets, like we say, unit trusts, fixed deposit, treasury bills, and bonds, and other things, at an average of 12% per year, you start earning money in the first month. Okay, so look at your investment vehicle, analyze it. How does it make money for you? How do you lose money? How do you make money? And at what rate? What we call the return on investment. After how long do you get back the money you invested? Okay, so you keep on looking at many other details for your investment vehicle that you choose. Very fast, in the last minute, for those who want to choose business, the questions that business answers, the needs of others, and the passion that you have. So if you have, a business must be able to answer needs of people, and those people are the customers. If you're giving them a solution to their problems, then they will give you, it will be a good business. Okay, so it needs to be solving a problem. So the needs of people, and then the passion. If you have passion for that business and answering the need of people, then you also need to be the question. That question is there money in that business? So if a business or your idea is answering to the needs of people and you have the passion for it, but there is no money in it, people are not willing to pay you, that is a charity that you're going to run. That's an idea for a charity. Okay. Or if you have needs of people that you're going to answer and they're willing to pay you money, but you have no passion for it, you have no love for it, you'll experience what they call burnout. People start businesses, and because they didn't love the idea initially, they give up on the business. So they get burnout. They run the business 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years and they give up on it because they got burnout. Or if you have passion for the idea and there is money for it, but there are no customers. So you can turn the idea into money, but there are no solutions that you're giving to people. You'll get no customers. So you run a business with no customers. But if your business idea is answering all the 3 questions at once, needs of people, passion, and love, and this will gives you money, that's a good business idea that you can think of where your money will be able to grow and multiply. Okay. I think because of time, we won't be able to benefit everything. But lastly, I want to encourage us to one of the best ways you can save money, you can multiply money, you can manage money is when you belong to an investment club. A group of people who come together to pool resources, to pool financial resources, to pool ideas, come together and agree with your friends where you're going to invest money, how you're going to invest money, how much return. So you come together and have shared benefits, access to a network of investors, joint decision making, continuous learning, pooling resources, lower investment costs, and all those things. And one of the banks in Uganda that does it very well is KCB Bank. They have a very nice product. And why KCB? Because it's one that I work with. Most of our investment clubs are in KCB Bank. They have a very nice product that helps people to come together, grow together, and stay together in an investment club. So your journey for financial empowerment, for financial growth, can better be done when you're together with your friends and your colleagues. Okay. I want to close. I know the time has been fast spent. Thank you so much for the opportunity that you gave to me to speak to you this morning. And I know if there is time for any questions or any subtractions or additions, they're welcome now. Thank you. Thank you, Smacon.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for that powerful sharing. I know definitely people have some questions, but before, there are some questions in the chat. I can see, according to your expertise, what are some of the common pitfalls to avoid when trying to multiply money? That is one question. Another says that I have come to know that saving is not about money, how much you earn, but rather a behavior than thanking you. Maybe you can answer. We are going to open for people to ask questions. In case you have any question, please, you can put up your hand so that you ask your question in a few minutes. Then we shall be closing. Anybody with a question? You can either put up your hand or type in the chat. Anybody with a question?
Can I answer the one who asked about the pitfalls?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Part of the pitfalls. Thank you. Part of the pitfalls we covered, the investment, guidelines, is that keep planning. Keep planning. Whatever investment vehicle you choose to take you to your desired destination, make sure you know how it works. Avoid get-rich-quick schemes. You will lose money. Keep planning. Don't overinvest your money in many investments. Start with one. Know how it works. Let the one create another. Let the one create another like that. So keep on learning. Keep in spaces where information is taught. Keep learning about it, because money is never taught enough. Even if we had a whole day, a whole week, we have had sessions of financial literacy where we cover the whole week, and it's never enough to cover. So commit yourself to being a lifelong learner, a lifelong student of money. Keep learning how money works. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I want to imagine there are no other questions.
I raised that.
Yes.
Someone
you can go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, thank you very much, presenter. Thank you for a very informative presentation. What I would like to learn from you is, for senior citizens, like some of us who are in our 70s, what would be one of the best ways to invest our little money that we have?
Thank you very much, ma'am. One of the things we looked at, we mentioned, was the vehicle that you choose for investment would depend on how fast you want to reach, and also how much time you have. The kind of risk. Yes. So part of the cardinal rules is that at say senior citizens, you try to keep away from highly risky ventures, because the higher the risk, the higher the return. So usually the return tends to tempt people to go in for the high risk ventures. But there are low risk ventures which also give sustainable income, and that is in the capital markets. One of the things we talked about, treasury bills. The treasury bills and treasury bonds market has grown considerably in the last 3-4 years, because people finally realize that you can make some good money. It is safe, very low tax, and very, very safe because it's highly regulated. You're lending money to government. Even when, for example, government changes, elections, and maybe this government goes and another government comes. If you've lent money to government, the next government, because you've lent money to government of Uganda, the next government will pay you back your money. So there is no risk almost at all. So some of the things that you can think of, especially for the senior citizens, is investing in capital markets. There's a new fund management manager in town who have been licensed by Capital Markets Authority to invest money in the New York Stock Exchange, where you can invest your money and get a return of up to 20% on your money. And it's almost risk-free, highly regulated. For senior citizens, the quadrant that I would encourage you to go for, and probably we'll pick this up maybe in a space where we have a lot of time to explain, because they're quite detailed, but it's that you choose one of those vehicles in that quadrant, and you know how much money they give return. For example, government treasury bills and bonds are giving an average of about 14-15% per year. And they can give you that money every, if you invest, say, a bond, they give you that money every 6 months, you get your income. If you fix the money in a bank, you can get your income every year. Every month. So you get a monthly pay from your income. If you've invested in unit trusts, you get your income also, you can request for it to get every month. So depending on your expenditure patterns, if you need money every month, you choose a vehicle that answers that question. If you need money maybe every 3 months or 6 months, you choose a vehicle that would work. But the cardinal rule is you keep away from highly risky ventures, because if that investment went blank, likely the senior citizen might have trouble with their health, because they invested their 200 million and the money has been mismanaged. The investment has gone back, busting, and so the risk that is the investment should be able to determine how much and where you're going to invest your money. So look at low risk investments, but they give sustainable income, very safe, low risk, highly regulated, and you're sure of your income for the period that you'll invest your money for. Thank you very much. Okay.
Somebody is asking the chat.
Yes, please.
Is asking the chat, please share with us the contact of that fund management that invests in New York at 20%.
Okay. I'll just type in the chat here. So when you go to Capital Markets Authority, you look for, it's called Gold Catch Investments. Gold Catch Investments, or when you go to Google or even Capital Markets Authority, because Capital Markets Authority is where all the regulated fund managers in Uganda are. In capital, if you're looking for investments that are regulated, please first go to Capital Markets Authority. It has a list of all the regulated fund managers where you give your money and they will invest it for you safely, and you have somewhere to run to just in case something happens. But they're all regulated and they are listed by the Capital Markets Authority. So after confirming that they are listed by the Capital Markets Authority and they are regulated, then you go to Google and look up their contacts, visit them, give them a call. So it's called Gold Catch Investments. Maybe I'll share the number. I'll find the contact. But even on Google, you'll be able to look at their website, visit them. They're located in Bukoto, Bukoto Street, the street that's near Acacia Mall. Right there, that's where they are. So they can help you invest your money safely, very, very low risk, but in investments outside of Uganda, because our economy, the rate at which money makes money is slightly lower than the speed at which money makes money in other markets like New York and London or Japan. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think there are no more questions. I don't know if Canon Alice can give us a vote of thanks. Canon Alice Damira, if you're able.
Hey, before Madam Alice prays for us, I was just asking a question, the last one. Can I become their agent?
Yeah, the question has been heard. Andrew is going to answer.
Okay. Sorry, becoming whose agent?
The Gold Catch.
Yes, you can. So please look them up on Google, look them up on Capital Markets Authority website, and give them a call, visit them, and have a discussion with them. I know they're open because I know the business is picking up at a good rate. So I'm sure they'll be glad to have a discussion with you on how you can recruit, get clients for them, and also safe investment for their client, for your friends that you have, and you can be a good agent probably. And there's also a question from Eric Tom. He says saving is just a means to the end, but the end seems to be investment and financial freedom. So can I invest slowly instead of saving and I just trust the body? Yes, you can invest slowly, but the slowly or the fast depends on where you are. We said the vehicle that you're going to use to invest will be determined by the distance between where you are in your financial journey and where you desire to be. So you can invest, you can probably slowly or quicker or faster, depending on the distance between where you are and your investment and your financial desired goal or position. And so the investment vehicle that you choose, someone walking from here to Jinja and someone driving from here to Ginger and someone taking a chartered flight from here to Ginger is because maybe someone wants to reach faster and the other one wants to do it slower. So again, it's a function of the vehicle. So yes, you can invest slowly or faster depending on where you are in your desired financial journey, where you are and where you want to be. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I want to request Canon Alice Damrida to give a vote of thanks if she's able.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wawire, and thank you so much, Andrew, for that wonderful presentation. I know when it comes to money matters, it is something that we consistently and continuously keep being enlightened about. And want to thank you so much for coming and enlightening us this morning. I know that many of us have been equipped, and we're going to run with a nugget or two to ensure that we become better managers and managers of our money, but most importantly, to multiply it because it is something that we use. I loved it when you started it off that every day money is a game. Somebody is losing and somebody is winning. So my prayer is that we'll go out there and be winners more of the time than actually losers. Because each time we have this kind of financial literacy moments of money, we certainly become better people in managing our finances. And that is what we've been called to do. Because when you read Ecclesiastes, the Bible says that money answers all things. We know that the love for money is the source of all evil, but money answers everything. So we need money so that we can be able to fulfill our purposes and also to do what is required of us by God. So thank you so much, Andrew, for coming this morning to enlighten us. And thank you so much, Mr. Wawire. Maybe we can invite the chaplain to give us a closing prayer.
Thank you so much, Canon Alice Damrida. And thank you so much, Andrew. I want to request our school chaplain, Reverend Moses Senyonyi, to close this session with a word of prayer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andrew, for taking us through, and thank you very much, members, for participating. Let us pray. We thank you, everlasting God, for the gift of knowledge, and that today we have shared about how to manage our finances, investment, so that we live well. Everlasting God, we pray that this knowledge we have received today may help us to unlearn some bad practices, but also learn good practices. And also invest wisely. We seek for the spirit of discernment in all things that we are going to be doing, and we know that you are with us, God. So as we live, Lord, we pray that you continue being with us and helping us to understand your will in our lives, but also to grow us and give us life, to see our investments and have fruits of what we long for. Bless us, bless our facilitator, bless all the participants here and others who will follow. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend Senyonyi. Thank you, members, for
Amen.
attending. And thank you, our presenter. Until we meet again.
Could we have the number for Mr. Maweji Andrew?
Yes, Mr. Maweji Andrew, your contact?
Yes, please. Can I read or can I type in the chat?
You can read it.
Okay, 0703
Hmm?
59 79 79. That's on WhatsApp. In case you ever call and no one is speaking, you can send us a message on WhatsApp or maweja@gmail.com. maweja@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.